Hello friends and welcome back. So it looks like there have been some updates in regards to future DLCs for Starfield. Nothing official from Bethesda, but there are definitely signs that there is DLC content in the very near future. So let's talk about the first sign that I have seen, or the first one that I want to discuss. It is depot updates on SteamDB. So what you're looking at is an image from SteamDB's update history for Starfield. And a couple days ago, there was a rather significant amount of updates to SteamDB for Starfield. Namely, there was a new repo added that was labeled DLC. It wasn't an updated repo, it was a new repo that was added, and it also had a lot of sub repos created which pertained to localization. Now, typically, when we are on the cusp of like an update or new content, we will see activity on SteamDB prior to that happening, where they will be either creating repos or updating repos, basically to distribute the new software. And normally when that's happening, we have anywhere from like a 1 to a 3 week time frame in which we are going to see that content. So if I was a betting man, anywhere between now and early December would say would be a very likely candidate. That being said, the VGAs are right around the corner. They're December 11th. And if Bethesda wanted to make kind of a public event of it, that would be the place to do it. It's the only thing that is within proximity of these repos being created within SteamDB. So my money personally is going to be that we are going to see something at the VGAs in some kind of shadow drop DLC. Now, that being said, DLC, we need to understand this as very broad term. As we can tell, the horse armor DLC was technically DLC, so we don't know the size or the scope of this DLC. Could this be a full-on story DLC that has 25 hours of content? Yeah, absolutely sure. Could it be something tiny that like the horse armor DLC? I don't think so. I think if they were going to go something that small, they would just pop it on to creations. But could it be like an automatron from Fallout 4? Yeah, I absolutely could see that, where we see like a smaller DLC that is priced around $10. I could see that. So there's a wide range of possibilities that could be coming out of these repo updates and what that content actually pertains to. All we know is it's going to require localization. So it's something that could either be voice acting, or that could be just simply localizing text within menus. So anything under the sun. But we are going to go ahead and move on to something else I saw about a week and a half ago. So I saw this about a week and a half ago. This was from a Spanish-speaking influencer. Notice the first letter of every sentence spells out Starfield. We're going to look at the translation in just a second here. So here we have the translation, and it's basically, he wrote that out to make that anagram Starfield, but he's basically stating that he's seen some things and he is under NDA. So what would that mean if this is true? That would mean that Bethesda has briefed social media influencers at this time to basically get prepared for a launch of some sort. Um, does this mean that this is true? Not necessarily. And honestly, I was rather skeptical when I first saw this. I did see him kind of playfully toying with Reddit while they kind of nitpicked his little tease there. Um, and that kind of made me believe, but what really made me believe that Bethesda has briefed social media influencers, showing them probably like a gameplay trailer or a narrative trailer, story trailer, is that I have had people independently confirm this to me in private messages that social media influencers have been briefed on whatever upcoming event is going to happen. So I really do think that there is some kind of event. And doubling back to what we were talking about earlier with time frame. So when we see these kind of like repo updates, typically it's going to be anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks. You're not going to, build out all these repos for SteamDB and not use them for 6 months. That's kind of silly. They're basically building them out because the product's ready to ship. The product's ready to go. It's like one of the last steps in the process. Your voice acting's done, everything's done, the game's developed, it's tested, and it's ready to go. That's when you would start building out your Steam DP repos and get that kind of stuff. So that tells me, anywhere from like 1 to 3 weeks. We very well could see a shadow drop between now and the VGAs, but because I have seen that public piece of evidence that social media influencers were briefed, and also because I've seen some not public information that social media influencers were briefed, this really tells me that Bethesda wants it to be kind of like an event, that people talk about. And that's why they brief social media influencers. It gives them like a heads up so they can prepare content for the drop itself. So, like this particular social media influencer can do all the editing and stuff for like a video or news article, etc. It gives them a little bit heads up, a little bit of time to get ready, and then drop it on a launch day. So that's basically what tells me that the VGAs is going to be the most likely event where we're going to see some kind of DLC drop. Now, I am very uncertain of what's going to be the size and scope of this particular DLC, whether they're going to do like a 1-2 punch where they release an automaton and then go for a big whammy in the springtime and release like a Dragonborn DLC in the springtime. I'm kind of leaning towards that. I think that's where things are going to go, but I'm going to link a video in the end screen where I kind of like really discussed my full thoughts on how Bethesda's preparing for a PlayStation launch, etc. So there's going to be a lot of information there, but as far as news goes, this is basically the news. We have some kind of DLC update coming to Starfield. It's probably within the next 1 to 3 weeks. Very uncertain of the scope. This could very well be a full-on DLC that would kind of contradict some leakers from earlier in the year, which stated that the DLC was going to be delayed till spring 2026 to align with a PlayStation port. But, this also could be a smaller DLC that is kind of meant to hold over the core fans and the core audience of Starfield until a larger DLC does drop during that time span. But yeah, that's essentially the news today. We have something that's going to be on the horizon, so I am personally going to be watching the VGAs because I very much do expect that there is going to be some kind of shadow drop coordinated with whatever social media influencers that they briefed. They'll be probably releasing content in tandem with whatever shadow drop does happen to kind of build excitement and hype. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video from there. One thing I will kind of state before I close out this video is that that repo updating in SteamDB seems to be ongoing. There's been a lot of activity in SteamDB over probably like the past 2 days. So if you're watching this like a week from now, conditions might have changed. But right now, currently, it looks to me that there is something coming within the very near future, and I'm going to put a high probability that it's going to be at the VGAs, just because there's a little bit of evidence out there that social media influencers have been briefed by Bethesda that there is something, related to Starfield coming out. And, typically they're going to do that because they're ready to release. But we're going to go ahead, wrap up, and like always, friends, please enjoy the rest of your day.